Twitter blocked us out. We have to have a premium account to to stream on Twitter now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's new. Yeah,
Hmm.
we have to have a blue check to do that. But so we're not doing that, but we're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. I am Pat Shand of Space Between Entertainment, the writer and co-creator of Ghost Baby, and we have Larry Watts here.
Hello, I'm Larry. I am doing this thing with Pat. Super excited.
I guess let's talk about how we came up with this comic. Maybe we should start with how we met, though, because that's we've been collaborating for like almost 15 years now.
That's right. 15? Wait.
I don't want to say 13. That feels kind of unlucky as fuck. But
Yeah. It's been a while. How did we meet? I was a fill-in on Robin Hood because the book was behind, right?
yeah, so we did issue 1, and I mean back then that was my first miniseries for Zetascope, so I wasn't in editorial yet. So I would always find these things out last minute. So we were working on issue 1 and getting art from that, and all of a sudden I started to see a different artist's work for issue 2 come in, and that was you. And I remember immediately, there was a difference. I feel like you got the vibe of what the story was. You just how you captured Robin stood out to me, and as soon as I saw your stuff, I was pulling for you to do every remaining issue. And I believe if that was 2, you did also in that first series 4 and 5, I believe.
Yeah, I remember when I found out I read the script, and then when I was turning the stuff in, I started stalking you on Facebook.
Oh, did you?
Well, I just checked to see what you were saying, and you said something like, "I love the artwork for issue 2," and I was like, "Thank fucking God."
Oh yeah.
He likes the stuff or whatever. And then I think you guys already had someone on issue 3, but like after that, 4 and 5, I was just like, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Issue 5 was crazy though. That's the most pages I've done in a month ever. That was like a double-sized issue.
Yeah, it was fully double-sized. Yeah.
Oh my God. Never doing that again.
Yeah, we didn't go in even planning double-size. Back then, so much of what we would do was based on Raven Gregory's whim. So he would get an idea, and then before asking if we actually wanted to do it, he would like, Joe, Pat really needs an extra a double-sized finale, So all of a sudden, Raven was asking Joe on my behalf if Robin Hood 5 could be double-sized, and that's probably to me why you couldn't do issue 3 was that we're going to put you on a double-sized issue for the last one.
Yeah, but dude, that was that's the beginning of everything, and then we did Wanted and Legend.
Yeah, it was that ended up being the Robin Hood trilogy. It was Robin Hood Origin, then Wanted, and then Legend. So
there was like a couple one-shots in between that stuff too, though.
Yes, so between Robin Hood Origin and Wanted, there was Robin Hood versus Red Riding Hood that I did with David Cutler, and then with us, between what was it?
I know Cindy was in the book.
Robin Hood Age of Darkness, yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been between Wanted and Legend, or maybe even Legend and the ongoing, but I think it was Wanted and Legend.
Yeah, and then we launched the ongoing, and I had to leave.
Yes, you did one issue, and then I yelled at you on the phone about it viciously. And then you had to it was, I'm not sure what happened. I think it was because
they offered me Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to do this. But I think in the end it worked out because you got to work with Claudia and Roberta, and they killed it.
Oh yeah, Roberta ended up doing. She came on with issue 6, and besides like some fill-in one-shots here and there, She did everything from 6 to 20, so it was a nice long run. And then you came back for the like the big finale of the whole series.
Yeah, the wedding, right?
Yes, not Robin to Marion. That was the original intention, the Marion and Sam wedding. Yeah,
I've never seen that book printed.
in person.
No, I don't think so. No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I even got comp copies of that one.
Huh. I mean, maybe you could fill out a form and ask them to do it now if they still have it.
Yeah, it's been so long.
To my knowledge, their warehouse is very, very full. So they might even have some. Who knows?
Well, maybe I'll ask.
Yeah.
I would like to see that one though. That had some of my favorite stuff in there. That cool monster we made of all the Merrymen.
Oh yeah, there was for that issue. I remember asking you what was some shit that you wanted to see, and I know that there was some things that you were like that you wanted the whole time. Like you wanted
Yeah, dude.
the little prince to come back.
I still think we should do a Prince John follow-up, bro.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I pitched that to Dave?
You did?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He was like, "It sounds interesting, but we're kind of doing something else right now. Maybe later." And I was like, "Do not forget about Prince John."
I think everyone else forgets about Prince John.
No, everybody did, but
yeah.
I mean, could still work,
You know what? If we ever took over Robin Hood again, I might do it just for you. But yeah, I mean, during the Franchini era of Zenescope, I think through most of it, Joe was doing his own Robin Hood run, which that I never saw coming. Joe was always more into the horror stuff, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had a long. I don't think it was as long as ours, maybe not, because I did ultimately 39 issues on Robin, and then 40 if you count what I did last year. I did this Robin Hood and Van Helsing fairy tale team up issue, which was both a Robin and Van Helsing title, so that would make 40, with about 8 years between the end of our run and that. But oh yeah, that was still a long chunk of time on the character for sure.
Oh yeah, I have no idea where she's at now though. Like sometimes I think about, I wonder what's going on with Robin. But
oh, Sam, I mean, honestly, so with the work for hire stuff, when I was exclusive at Zenescope, all of my writing was for Zenescope. So they weren't. I know that now, and I knew it then. But I would treat the books; they would feel as if I was writing creator-owned, because I didn't have an outlet to do my own shit,
Right.
So when I finished Robin Hood, I, respectfully to everyone who came after, I thought it was better for me as a writer to not keep reading the book. If I kept reading the book and just seeing what other people did with it, I feel like it wouldn't be a clean break, where I wanted my final story there to feel like a serious finale. I wanted to end my run, clean break, and then not have anyone else who writes it have any of my baggage on it too, because I was still editor there. So I didn't want to be like, oh, well, Robin, she wouldn't do that, so you got to change that. I wanted to just kind of like, you know what? We did our thing, hands off.
I still think you guys should give her energy arrows.
I mean, maybe you should write Endra the next run. If there ever is a next run, who knows?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd definitely bring back Prince John, and who else would I bring back? Is Marianne dead in the series?
No, I think she left.
Or did they kill Sam?
They put Sam in like a hell dimension or some shit.
Oh, okay.
I only know that because people complained to me, and I'm like, what the fuck do I got to do with that?
Right.
But yeah, I think that maybe in the Chuck Dixon run, he put her in hell or some shit.
Yeah, that's right. I remember people asking me about that too. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. So we finished up Robin Hood in, I think it was 2016, and when I was going through building the Ghost Baby campaign, I wanted to find the original email, because I I thought it was just a cool element that, normally as a writer, and especially through publishing, when we have ideas at Space Between, we'll build out the story and then hire the artist. This was different in that back in 2016, you came to me with the idea. The first email that I have in my inbox is from you sending me a sketch of Ghost Baby and an idea for it. And in my follow-up email, I wrote back to you with sort of the core of what the first arc could be, and just like a kind of rough take on issue 1. And just looking back, I thought it was pretty cool that we did it that way, as opposed to how these things normally arise.
Yeah, I remember like we'd always get busy, and like every like couple of years we'd be like, that would be fun to work on, and then we'd get busy again, and then finally we're doing it, and I'm so excited. Yeah, it's like my favorite thing that we worked on aside from Robin Hood.
So what made you come up with this character? I mean, I'm sure that I asked that in the past, but we've been developing this thing for about 9 years now. It was late 2016 when I first talked to you about this, and looking back, it looks like maybe you started with the sketch. I'm not sure if you were just sketching and thought it would be cool if I did this.
It started off as a joke with me and like, I think at the time, like when I had roommates or something, and we were just like hypothesizing or just talking about like that scene in Ghostbusters where Ray has an experience with a ghost,
Yeah.
And then I don't know, for some reason I thought to myself like, it'd be weird to have a half ghost baby, and then the idea just kind of rolled from there, and that was like around the same time I started having kids, and just experiencing like how difficult it is to, you think you know what you're doing, or I mean, you have no idea what you're doing when you're with kids. At least I didn't. Like, it was such a shift from like I had my shit together, and then you throw in like a baby, and you're like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I thought would like, take that a step further, and it's like, what would you do if you had like a half ghost baby that's like not your typical baby, So
yeah,
that's just like taking up the whole like fatherhood thing and like ramping it up into like something I think could be funny, and interesting, and like just the situations that like we would, even me and you, like we joke about like, oh well, what if this would happen, or what if this would happen, like they all just seemed like really entertaining and like good like fertile ground to like find cool stories and moments that I haven't seen in comic books. And then also like I just feel like there's not a lot of good like role models or for fathers, like everything, like the typical dad in any kind of media is like Homer Simpson or like a bumbling idiot, that you like. So I kind of wanted to like see a story where like it's not like dumb fathers, like but yeah, dude, like just the ideas that we bounce off each other about the book would like crack me up so much. I was like, we should do this. So I'm so happy that we are actually.
I want to touch on the humor in comics for a second, but first we have our first giveaway here with Steve J. This is a Cheeky Comics Annual 2023 cover B. So what I'm going to ask the audience, the first person that shows up in the chat, I know that sometimes the chat appears out of order, but the first time that I see the comments saying the correct answer, that's the winner. The winners can contact spacebetweenent@gmail.com, say your username, and claim your reward. The question is this: who is the artist behind this cover? Look at the style. Appreciate the line work. Who drew this cover? Get it right? and it's yours. And if no one can guess here, we'll create a new question. But get it in the chat. While you guys work on that, the humor aspect of comics, I always thought that it was weird to me that in a medium called comics, there's not that many funny comics. People see the genre of comedy as a difficult thing to do in comics because of pacing and timing. I never thought that. Oh. Okay, we have a winner here. Bobby hit.
Nope.
Luana Vecchio. That is correct. Luana Vecchio drew this cover, which is Cheeky Comics Annual 2023, cover B. There we go. Bobby hit, congratulations. We'll be doing a giveaway again in about 13 minutes from now. But yeah, no, I always it struck me as unusual that people sort of treated the comedy genre in comics as a difficult thing to pull off, but the comics that I would read, when humor was done well, I laughed just as much as I would in a movie or TV show. I never really understood the idea of the pacing of comics as a medium, not really working with comedy.
I feel like people try comedy in comics a lot, and a lot of the times it fails. With dialogue, especially if there's no pacing for it, like you said. I don't know. I can't really think off the top of my head of any funny comics. When I think about funny comics, I think about like Calvin and Hobbes,
Okay.
Or like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of a comic that's made me laugh.
Really?
Not recently. Like I said, Calvin. I still read Calvin and Hobbes, like the collected editions, all the time.
Yeah.
And those still crack me up. But aside from like funny dialogue, which is really separate from the visuals, I haven't seen like a visual gag that's cracked me up. At least that I can remember in a while. Yeah.
I mean, Terry Moore. I think that he does great visual gags. I mean, but for me, it's true. Dialogue is primarily where the comedy comes out. But comedy has been a major focus for me. I like to ingrain comedy in all of my work. But for example, 2 years ago and last year, one of the series that I ran, I Summoned Cthulhu to Film on Kickstarter, that is primarily, it's horror comedy, but it's a lot more comedy than it is horror. And I look back on that and just show some shit that Patrick Mulholland drew, and the dialogue too. That made me, the success of that book specifically made me realize that we can do this, have a book that's kind of, while again it's a mix of genres, have it be more comedy forward, and that the audience will be receptive to that. That has definitely inspired me to do more in that field.
I think when you add comedy to horror, you can do more with the horror because there is comedy. Because it's not just one note over and over again for like the reader. Like I feel like that's why I like Evil Dead or Army of Darkness specifically as like the originals, because the comedy gives you a break from like the violence or the gore, as opposed to like the new Evil Dead. I don't know if you saw that, the Evil Dead Rise.
Not no.
It's a good movie, but there's no comedy. So by the time you're done with the movie, you're just like, fuck, like I'm done, but then like, I feel like when you do add in the comedy, you can also ramp up the horror because you're giving the audience like a palate cleanser or something, you know?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Yeah, I mean, some of the funniest movies do have horror elements, like Shaun of the Dead, you know.
Right, yeah.
But even like, all right, so uh, I'm inspired deeply by great TV, and you know, Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, and we finished Atlanta last night.
No,
Those,
that show is really good. It's
bro,
really good.
incredible. Those are all shows that can make you cry, and they're funnier. All three of those shows that are considered dramas are funnier than a straight comedy movie to me for the most part. So I do think that mixing in the genres and especially playing with the balance of drama and comedy, I think that is the way for sure.
6 Feet Under makes me depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah, like after I'm done watching that show, I want to kill myself.
bro, 6 Feet Under. To me, for me, it does the opposite. To me,
it makes me so like it like after I'm done like watching a lot of 6 Feet Under afterwards, I just feel like this void. You know?
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's certain areas of the show where if you stop, it's a dark feeling.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
overall, the entire theme of the show and the way it ends, to me, it brings catharsis about because I obsess about the idea of our mortality. It's ingrained in my writing. I can't stop thinking about the fact that all this one day gone. But 6 Feet Under, uh, it as depressing as it can get. I think that the way that it treats death and life and birth, it makes me feel it makes me appreciate life more. It makes me kind of like slow down a little bit and just remember how fleeting this is in a non-dark way. Because if I keep thinking about how fleeting it is in the eventuality, but we're alive now and we're living and experiencing one another right now. And 6 Feet Under reminds me of that. I watched that show. I've seen it about 6 times all the way through, and it's one of those shows where I can watch fully every year, like one watch through per year. That is Sopranos, and maybe I'll even throw in Atlanta now because that's a little short show, and I deeply enjoyed that.
How do you feel about Breaking Bad?
It's cool, it's it's very good. I think that
I think the
it's
show's
a
perfect.
great show.
I think there's not one wasted episode. I don't think there's like maybe one shot in the whole series where I'm like, I'm like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Um,
No, I really enjoy it. I think it's a great show. I think it is it's on the Mount Rushmore of great shows. But I think that its focus on it's celebrated for its tight plotting, and plotting isn't a thing that I particularly am interested in as a writer. The character progression in Breaking Bad, great, that I love, but it doesn't emotionally, it doesn't hit me the same as a lot of other great TV. It does, I do feel for the characters. There's certain scenes and where I do get emotional, and I think it's a great ride. But I wouldn't put it in my top 5. I would say top 10. It's a contender, but top 5 for me now.
okay.
I gotta see Better Call Saul though. I have not yet.
It's really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't finished it though, but I'm digging it. For
Yeah.
sure. Dude, I started. There's this show that's airing now called Common Side Effects.
Oh, you were talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. The creators did that show Scavenger's Reign as well, and dude, they get me. Everything about everything they've done so far, I'm like, I love the way they write. the music they use, the worlds they build, the character designs, everything about it. I'm like, dude, these guys are like right up my alley.
What is it about?
Common Side Effects is about like this medicine or this mushroom that could like heal anything, and this guy finds it, and then all hell breaks loose. Like big pharma, the government, the DEA, like everyone's after him because he has this thing that could, you know, stop insurance companies and big pharma or whatever, and he just wants to help everyone. And you know, he's already like a paranoid nut job. So when all the conspiracy stuff starts happening, it's like, I don't know, it's really great, but like it's not really even so much about the plot. Like the characters, every character in the show, like they're so interesting, and they like propel the story. You know, and you forget about the story because you're so interested in the characters, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't see that a lot, where like every character is interesting in a story, you know, or whatever. But yeah, I think you'd like it. I don't know. It's animated. I don't know if you watched all the cartoons. So.
Yeah, you and I had that talk recently about how it kind of shocked you that I can't think of a cartoon that's not South Park that I've watched in the past like 10 or so years.
Yeah. Dude, almost everything I watch is a cartoon right now.
So like, all right, so for Ghost Baby though, when you are drawing it, right? Say you were to picture it being adapted for TV, do you picture it being a cartoon or live action?
Probably a cartoon.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, because I never, because it makes more sense that way, of course, because it's a comic. But for some reason, I never think about animation ever.
Also, I couldn't imagine the budget for like a live action thing like this being like possible for like a small project. But I could totally see like an indie cartoon studio being able to pull it off. Like,
Pretty cool.
Well, you know, but yeah, I mean, one of the like original like concepts for Ghost Baby, I had been talking to like a producer about the idea, and he was like, this could be a cartoon, you know, and he wanted to he wanted to have us like come up with like 6 episode ideas, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I sent you his whole thing. But the thing is like I wanted to do a comic book first, so people knew that we did this. Because I don't want it to be something else before we do our comic book. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny is I've been working with you for so long that there have been multiple times where you brought up something that you say happened to us, like like this producer. Or recently there was a series that you said that we developed together that I completely blocked out. I don't remember it at all.
There was, I mean, we've pitched like a ton of ideas to each other over the years.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one book that you were working on with Andrew Schultz or whatever?
Yeah, Brilliant Idiots. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was that. There was The Tourist.
The Tourist, that I remember. I have the outline for that still. We have Steve here for the next giveaway. What you got?
This way.
Yeah.
I got Cerulean.
Here we go. This is the Cerulean Dreams Space Between Annual 2023. This is the tour exclusive. We brought this on tour with us to all the conventions in 2023. Now, to win this, what I need you to do, not guess the artist. The artist is named Celtis. I want you to tell me, who is this character depicted on the cover? Who is the character? First person to get it wins Cerulean Dreams Tour Exclusive 2023.
Okay.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Taurus is a pretty good idea, I think. Still,
Yeah, I thought it was a cool idea. Dude, there's so many. If I went through it like my inbox, I'm sure we could I could find like at least like 7 or 8 like concepts. There was like some gangster book that you wanted to do at some point.
We have a winner with Sabrina on Cerulean Dreams. That is Lauren. That is Logan McBride. I'm typing Sabrina as I'm saying Logan. Cerulean Dreams Taurus. Beautiful. Sabrina, congratulations. Yeah. There's a couple.
Oh, I remember. It
Uh,
was when we were approached by Wizard Magazine, not Wizard Magazine,
Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal.
This is the one that I forget entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they were doing a weed focused book,
Yeah.
and they were looking for creators, and we pitched like a Alice in Wonderland type book to them that started off at a smoke shop.
What I remember with you, I remember a weed book with you, but not this. I remember I have a document still. I have a document called The Bag, which is about someone's bag of weed gets lost or stolen, and it's 2 dudes who go looking for it. That's what I remember.
Oh, I mean, but I do remember like that being a thing. Like I was stoked about like just getting to work on something even like heavy metal adjacent.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. I mean, I don't think even the book ever, or I don't think they ever launched the publication, but
Yeah.
for a split second there, like I do remember like it had something to do with the smoke shop and the whole Alice in Wonderland setup where, you know,
Interesting.
it was a cool idea, but I think you tapped into that already with the Smoke Weed See the Future book.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You know, if we were to do a different weed book, that would be fine because I have like 10 books right now about sex in some way. I feel like a weed Wonderland story is as different from Smoke Weed Through the Future as Private Dance is from Amarini Amateur Cupid. I think that if the idea is good enough, it doesn't matter that there's a weed element. I did Prison Witch and Destiny in the Air at the same time. Both have like magic elements, but both done in very different ways.
But yeah, dude, we have talked about so many different book ideas over the years. It's hilarious.
I recently posted that Brilliant Idiots, some of the art and the script pages on our Patreon, and talked about the whole how it almost happened and shit. It's funny because Schultz has been all over the news recently. He has his new special out.
Yeah.
He did like I don't even know what the wrestling move is. He got like slammed by Logan Paul last night or some shit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I can't believe that Charlemagne's on the Daily Show.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How did that happen?
Well, I'll tell you this: when when Charlemagne and Schultz, when their star shot up, those old episodes of Brilliant Idiots disappeared. So
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean that's what you should do. As soon as I got my first TV deal, I was told, listen, go into your Twitter, and it doesn't matter if you have things that are bad or good. It doesn't matter what you have. No matter what you have tweeted, just for your own good, nuke everything. So I was like, damn, all right. I hadn't tweeted anything crazy, but I guess it's normal that when your star rises, wipe it all out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that the episode that I'm in is gone from their official shit, but the audio is still re-uploaded by somebody else on YouTube. It's a crazy thing.
The internet never forgets.
So let's go through this campaign a little bit.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
300.
There's that little guy, the original image, right there.
Yeah.
There he is.
It's my little guy right there.
some of your beautiful artwork. I know that you've colored yourself over covers before. Is this your first time coloring a full book of your art?
Yeah, it's my first time coloring like a bunch of interiors. It's it's something.
I mean, it looks great.
I thanks, man. I really I really like being able to do that. And I feel like, I've worked with some great colorists in the past, um, but I don't think sometimes that we're accomplishing what I'm trying to get done. So I feel like we are doing that with this book.
Hold on, I was trying to do something really quick. Fuck. I messed it up.
I see what you're trying to do. It's a
I was trying, yeah.
But yeah, dude, coloring myself is on covers. It's like, okay, it's easy. But when you're doing a book, it's a little different because you have to think about like the atmosphere and making scenes different from each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely like it's been a thing. And I mean, you remember the first like set that I sent you? You're like, those aren't good. So
the colors. Yes.
yeah. Like when I was like first, just kind of like working.
Well, bro. First of all, I didn't say those aren't good. I just gave notes. I gave directions.
No, and they were good. They're good notes, but like, yeah, like so, like we found it. We found like what we were going for. So I think, yeah, it to me, it's one of the better things I feel like I've done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stoked, and I love I love all the crazy fucking shit in this book, and I can't wait to see it lettered. You know?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the crazy stuff, like one of the coolest parts of this process as a writer is that because you came up with the core idea, even though I wrote the script, you'll like shoot me a drawing of a character, and I'll be like, "Who the fuck is that?" And you're like, "Oh, I'll figure it out," you know. So it's like kind of like we're going back and forth a bit more than we would if I had just, for example, with Vix the Hunter.
Right. Yeah.
Massey wrote the script, it was approved, and then you drew the script, But with this, it's a lot more back and forth.
Yeah, which is like super fun. I almost feel like it'd be like I really like having a little bit of say with where things go. And I remember that was one of the cool things that we did with Robin Hood. At a certain point, I remember like I think it was in New York or someplace, but we were talking about like, all right, what do you want to do with this issue? And it was the first time I'd ever gotten to do that with a writer. Just sit around. We mapped out like a whole issue that evening.
Yep.
And I remember like we were like going back and forth as to like, okay, well, how do you want to end? And like I'd be like, I want a splash page in there, or whatever. And but like, we were given enough leeway too to like actually come up with the story for the issue, and
yes,
and like the pacing, and that was like my first taste of that, and ever since then I'm like, I want to do more of that, as opposed to just getting a script and drawing it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is like some of the most fun I've had in a while, and it's really cool to see other people draw this character. Is that Patrick Mulholland?
Yes, he's the artist behind I Summon Cthulhu to fund my Kickstarter, and I thought, he does horror great, he does comedy great, so this would be the perfect fit for him.
Yeah, no, it came out awesome, and yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I just it's like when you, I guess you get it all the time, but when you see other people do a spin on your thing, It's really cool.
Oh, it's so fun. So fun. We have the Zong Bros with Nightshade here, our ghost baby mama.
Ghost Baby Mama, yeah.
That could be a spinoff.
You could do like a ton of spinoffs. I think you could do a Huckleberry Hawthorne spinoff for sure.
Yeah.
Which would be dope. If we can get this going to the point where we can have like little Huckleberry shorts at the end of it or something. Loopy, I know that guy. That's my son.
Really?
Yeah, that's Lou. He's 13 now, and he must be watching. He has his own YouTube channel, and it's pretty dope.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's doing like little animations and stuff, so I'm pretty impressed. He knows more about making videos and animations than I do at this point.
Yeah. I wonder if I should even be showing this part right now.
Oh, that's fine. He has seen it all.
Cool. Here we have the Elias Chatzudis. Larry and I first worked with him because he was and is a longtime cover artist for Zenoscope. So he will be doing Robin Hood covers as the exclusives for all the Comic-Cons. And now he is contributing covers to Space Between as well, including this awesome cover featuring Nightshade from Ghost Baby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Here we go with some interior art. This character looks quite a bit like you, Larry.
I mean, just wanted like a half Asian dude in a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If we ever make it into a live action movie, it's already cast. We already got you,
Oh, I mean, but hopefully we can find someone younger. I'm getting so old now.
I think you're still a spring chicken.
You're nice. You're kind.
How old are you?
You're a kind young man, Patrick. 43. Yeah, it's good.
Nah, you're still young. You're still young.
Yeah, I don't feel young, Pat.
Is that true?
No, I do actually, which is the worst part about it. When you feel young and then you're reminded of how not young you are. Like I was climbing a fence not too long ago, and when I got to the top of the fence, normally I'd be like, I'm just gonna jump down, but this time I was like, nah, I'm not gonna jump down. I'm gonna climb down slowly.
I mean, I felt something similar. So when sometimes when Amy drives away in her car, it's become a thing where I'll walk her out and I'll walk up the stairs to this area. It's like an overpass over my underground driveway, and I can climb up onto it, and I go up on top of it, and it looks like I'm doing like what Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You was doing, like holding the shit, just like standing on top of the world. But when I jump down onto the ground, that shit hurts my knees, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking tear my ACL doing this shit.
Yeah, I went. Me and Sarah, we went and she joined a soccer team, so we went to go play soccer the other day, or like practice, because her practice was canceled, and she wanted to get some like practice in, and I went with her, and I hadn't kicked a soccer ball or played soccer in so long.
That bitch is hard.
20 minutes into it, I was like, what is this thing in my leg that doesn't feel good? I haven't used this muscle in like 20 years. Because I still like do stuff like run, but kicking a ball, like I just activated something I haven't used in forever, and I was like, Jesus Christ, how old are you? Like, this is not good.
Here we go. Third giveaway. And this is a hitter, he says.
Oh.
What you got?
You want me to tell the artist?
Oh, yeah. I shouldn't.
I don't want
we shouldn't say it. No, you know what? We'll do character again. So we have a foil cover here. This is a sparkle foil cover. This is for Cheeky Annual 2024. The art is by Dravakis, and I want you to name this character. Half blue hair, half black hair. What is her name? Bonus points if you can get both her stage name and her real name. But what is that character's name? Think about that.
Oh.
I know it.
We have a winner. We have Jose with Sabby. That is correct. So, Jose wins that. What is, just for bonus points, this is not for anything else. Bonus points. What is Sabby's real name? That's her stage name. But you do win the cover. There we go. We have Sabrina. Sydney is her real name. There we go.
Yeah.
You knew that?
I actually thought that was somebody else. Never mind.
Oh, who'd you think it was?
I thought it was Voluptus.
Oh, Voluptus from Amarini.
Yeah, well, because you said I couldn't see it that clearly, but never mind.
You know, it makes sense that you would like Voluptus, from what I know.
You helped me do that pinup for you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did.
Yeah, and I had a hard time focusing when I was working on that. Like, I'd be like, let me look up some reference, and then, you know.
Yeah, the Othala M reference for Voluptus is crazy.
Yeah, I'd just be like distracted the whole time. I'm like, I need to draw, but look at all this reference I'm gathering.
Yeah, we're talking about getting old. I feel the same way. But check this out. Oh yeah, so you run a t-shirt company which has enabled us to do a little Ghost Baby merch drop through this. These are all going to be shipping from you straight from the shop, fresh off the I don't even know what you guys do, fresh off the steamroller.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Hopefully we'll see some people rocking these at cons.
I hope so as well. This is it's our first time doing t-shirts in a very long time. We did 2 t-shirts with you, actually, with your company on Destiny New York Volume 2 back in 2007.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a while ago, dude.
Yeah. We did you did with us a small run of Space Between shirts for the team for conventions.
Yeah.
But as far as actual merch, this is our first merch drop for shirts in 8 years.
Well, let's see how it goes. Hopefully someone buys them. But what do you call it? It's definitely like I would take t-shirts to cons, like, to sell, but they're just so cumbersome in terms of like how many you can travel with, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to ship them to the con, that's like a whole other logistics nightmare. I can't imagine like what you have to deal with how much inventory you have. Because when I go to a con, I just want to like bring a bag with me, with, you know,
it's rough. I mean, we just packed 2 big boxes to ship to the hotel for Zenescope VIP Austin, which is next week. And then, you know, sometimes it makes us make crazy choices. We're going to be doing C2E2 and Exotica Chicago. It's the same weekend, 2 cons in Chicago. So we're driving down there from New York because to ship enough to sell at 2 cons to make it worth it is crazy.
So we're just going to like swap crews between the 2 shows?
Yeah, so basically we have locked. I'm doing it, Steve's doing it, and Casanova Cart, who wrote Private Dance Down South for us, is doing it as the booth model. And we're really crossing our fingers to get Ralph out there as well. So we're flying out Casanova, and if Ralph's able to do it, we're going to be flying Ralph down as well. And Steve and I are going to be driving.
Yeah, we printed the retired magical girl shirt. Or
yeah.
I printed that for you. Young daydreamer.
Oh yeah. And you
Yeah,
printed the other one was don't be a fucking trash bag.
yeah. Yeah, we should do more stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. As a writer, when you go to shows, the like the amount of stuff that you bring like blows my mind. And I'm not sure if you're driving everywhere or flying, but like flying with that much weight must be super expensive or difficult.
Yeah. Often it's shipping it there.
Oh, you're shipping it. Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. I'll we fly with stuff sometimes, but the fact of the matter is that bringing the banner to these cons, my banner is very heavy. That shit sucks. So
Yeah.
I try to not do that much.
Megan, do not call me Uncle Bubba. Jesus.
What's Uncle Bubba?
That's my niece Megan. She's getting married this year. She's in
You got the whole family here, huh?
she's in her 20s and she still calls me Uncle Bubba. Love you, Megan. Thank you for joining the thing. Yeah, she's a great kid. Or she's a great young lady. But yeah, they still call me Bubba, and now everybody else can join in.
Look at us back here. That was 2016. Oh,
No,
years.
look at us. We were younger. I was browner. Huh. Okay.
I mean, your lighting right now is not. It's so. It's like you're in darkness and the only light's on your face. You know.
Yeah, the computer screen behind the computer I'm using is lighting this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was us back then. That was was that New York?
That I think that's at Heroes Con.
Oh, it says it right there. You are correct, bro. That is Heroes Con. I fucking hated doing that show.
Dude, you drove all the way there. Like, I think you got there the morning of the show, too. Like, you had been driving for, like, how long is that drive? Like, 13 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you drove for 13 hours straight. You got there the morning of the show, and then we freaking raw dogged 3 days, like no sleep.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And I also, this was my first con as a free agent in quite a long time because this was right after I left Zenoscope, like a month later. And you see Vampire and the Garbage Girl there. That was the original printing of the single issue version. We later on, Space Between did a trade of it, but that is through Margin Publishing. They were at the con. I picked up my con copies there and sold it. That was all I had to sell, and I was hoping to sell a lot, but I didn't know that it's, you should bring other shit. I should have brought more stuff. But
shit. We got people from old friends from West Virginia here. I used to live in West Virginia for a while. That's cool. Shit, is that I think that's one of my buddies from when I was growing up, like in the 80s, 90s in West Virginia. Hey man, thanks for joining in.
Our banners look good together. You made mine. I can see your art here.
Yeah. I think I made that one. I like your new banner more though. I just recently got a new banner. It's totally like Ghost Baby centered.
Really?
Yeah, I've had that
Yeah.
banner behind in that picture forever. I was like, I need to get a new banner. Because I don't know. I'm 100% Ghost Baby right now, so that's what I want to show off. I'm hoping like this convention this weekend, I can bring in some more backers for the book. Yeah,
what are you doing?
I'm doing Collected Con in Jacksonville this weekend.
Okay.
It's a good show. You should come down to one of these sometime. Collective Con and Ocala Comic Con have grown like quite a bit over the last like 10 years. Like I remember going to the first one of those shows and it was like a pretty small event, and now now they're some of my favorite shows, man. They're great.
I the con by you that I want to try is MegaCon. You know, I've heard so much about it.
It's not the same as it used to be. It's kind of it's too big now, I think. Just so much going on at that show. It reminds me of like one of the bigger shows, you know. It's a fan expo show now. But if you do MegaCon, I'll do MegaCon, but generally I kind of skip it now because it's just
Really?
yeah, it's it's just so they cram in the creators and it's like ring around the convention where it almost feels like an afterthought, you know. And even like big name creators or whatever, they're all kind of just chunk in this long like U around the convention. So like the general audience is kind of in the middle of the convention shopping or whatever, and like they're going to like the artist alley and the different stores or whatever, but like the creators are just out there, or like the guests are like out there in the outer ring, and it almost feels like, I don't know, it like a petting zoo or something.
Oh, I hear you. And yeah, Sabrina, doing a con is definitely fun. You know, it gets to be a lot when you're on tour and doing a lot of them one by one. But you know, even before I started to get gigs writing, I loved going to cons. So you definitely should go. What you said, Larry, about kind of being crammed in, that reminded me of this little area at Heroes Con. We were the tables were like a square, and you had to squeeze past guys to get out. And there was this one guy, I think he was like an Irish guy, kind of like a dork, who was drawing something for DC at the time. And I was trying to get out, and his arms, his spindly arms were out as he was drawing. So I was just trying to leave, and I was like, "Excuse me," and he like moved a little bit. I was like, "Yo, excuse me," and he moved a little bit. So I was like, "All right." So I squeezed past him and like knocked his arm as he was drawing, and he looked at me like I'm like, "Bitch, move. What the fuck am I gonna do? Not pee, you know?"
Yeah, that's crazy. That yeah, you just messed up his commission. Hey man, no, some shows they just pack everyone in too tight, and I feel like that's just not great. Like, you know, like Baltimore is amazing. They give you like a little like play area behind your table or whatever.
They do, but bro, Baltimore is the only con where they will treat you like loyalty the next year, and then the next year just shit on you. So because their placement is so scattershot, it's beyond scattershot. So it was 2022. They gave me a table where I looked at it. It was a 10 by 10, a 10 by 10, and a 10 by 10 in the middle of the floor. And I was like, this is amazing.
Great. Yeah.
It's so much. I don't even know what to do with this. You know, I spread everything out. I made it look as nice as possible. And it was a great presentation. The next year, I was cartoonishly behind a pillar, like directly behind a pillar.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? You know, so there's no guarantee of anything good or bad at Baltimore. It's just completely scattershot.
You know, there was this year where I haven't been to New York in a long time, like the New York Comic Con, but I remember like there was one year where I'm not sure if they still do it in the basement now. Like Artist Alley used to be in like a separate building, which was awesome. But then I remember one year they did it in the basement and the AC broke.
Oh, not good.
No, it was horrible.
Not good.
But they'd given me like this like really rough spot. And the only thing that made it better was Ali Garza was supposed to be there at the show. And his table was right next to mine. He never showed up. So I just moved my stuff over to where his was. Like you're talking about the pole situation.
Yeah.
Like I just moved over to where his stuff was because he wasn't there and got away from the pole or whatever. But just a great coincidence. I can't imagine like being booked for a show and being like, yeah, I didn't even know I was supposed to be there.
Some shows I could imagine, but New York, I mean, it's hard to get into New York still. We have our last giveaway here.
Emerald D, cover D.
Emerald Fantasies, cover D. Now, I'm going to ask something a bit more difficult here for the final one. And again, if you can't get this one, I'll ask a different question. But first, I want you to tell me, what is the name of this wisp? This is one of the primary wisps in Wild Wisps, our ongoing series, which was voted in our census so far, tied with Private Dance as our favorite series of last year. So, what is the name of this wisp right here? And if you get it, comic's yours. If in the next 2 minutes no one gets it, I'll ask a different question. Thank you, Steve.
No problem.
Yeah, New York is viciously hard to get into still.
Yeah, you know what's funny too is like I feel like the security in New York is like terribly underwhelming.
Yeah, security, you said?
I mean, every time I've done New York, I just walk in with like all my stuff, you know, and like
Really?
they don't even like really like check my bag, you know, as long as I have like an artist alley badge, you know. But like you've seen like my rig, it's like a huge black duffel bag that you can put like a body in, you know, or whatever. Yeah, and every time I'm like, oh, you're not gonna look through my stuff, really? Like, how do you even know that this is my badge? You know, I'm always like walking in and going like, I don't have a good feeling about this, you know. I mean, most cons, I feel like if they see you have like a creator badge, they're like, yeah, just go in. We're not going to go through your stuff.
Sometimes, bro. Some of the other cons, Baltimore is rough.
Yo, dude, I want them to. I want them to go through it all and just be like, just to make sure everyone's safe. You know, I mean, I know it's like a hassle, but dude, go through my stuff, please. I don't care. Go through everyone's stuff, please.
No, I do agree. There was one Baltimore. Wasn't even Baltimore. It could have been something in DC. I remember that. We have an answer. We have an answer. The wisp is named Nary. Karen Yang. Congratulations. That is the final giveaway of the night. Emerald Fantasies Cover D by Cindy Law, featuring Nary. Awesome. Congratulations to everyone. We have Karen Yang, Jose, Sabrina, and Bobby Hitt. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching, and getting those giveaways. But yeah, the con that I was mentioning could have been DC. I pulled up, I had all my stuff, drove down there, and as I was in line, it was a police pat down. The cops, the actual cops were there, and they were going through everything. And I realized I have a huge knife, and I use the knife to open the boxes and shit. You know,
Right.
I was like, "Fuck!" So I left. I took my shit to the corner, threw the knife in the garbage on the corner, and came back and just went in because I didn't want to get in trouble or anything, you know. But it was a nice knife.
Dude, I was leaving the convention or something. I didn't even realize it. I had like a family heirloom pocket knife in my computer bag. You know?
Yeah.
And I was leaving. Airport security found it. I didn't even realize it was in my bag. They're like, "We have to throw this away," and I was like, "I'm like, can you mail it to me?" Or they're like, "No." I'm like, "All right, sweet."
That's crazy.
Knife gone. I mean, it was dumb that it was in there, but what's crazy is I made it all the way to the con, and that was a connecting flight back where they caught it.
I'm shocked that you didn't like get in trouble. You know, they just threw it out.
Well, I was like,
yeah,
just throw it away. Like I asked him, I was like, "Is there a way that I could get that like mailed to me?" And he's like, "No, dude." He just like tossed it in the trash can right there. I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Anything else that you want to cover?
No. I mean, I really appreciate anyone that stopped by. JJJMJM. I'll see you this weekend at the show in Jacksonville.
Yeah, plug your shit. Tell them where to find you at the show. plug your socials, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you can just find me, Larry E. Watts Art, on most socials. You can find me on Facebook, Larry Watts. I'm up there in the Larry Watts Google rank, so if you look hard enough, you should be able to find me. Yeah, I'm super stoked. Thank you guys for supporting the book. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you so much. The link is in the comments here. I'll post it again right now. Ghost Baby #1, live on Kickstarter right now. We have some great cover options, and we have art, full art, including pencils, inks, colors by Larry Watts, the collaborator who I've been working with as long as I've been doing comics, pretty much. You know, my first ever comic was published May 2011, and Larry and I started together in October 2012. So it's been quite a long time, and it's been great working with you. You are, aside from Ralph, you're my longest comic book collaborator, the longest relationship in comics that I've had.
That's crazy, man. You know what's funny too is like, I remember when that first book came out, I went to my comic shop and bought it. I was like so stoked. I couldn't wait because I couldn't wait for my comp copies, so like I had to go to the comic shop to buy it or whatever. But it was the first time I could actually go and buy one of my books at the comic book store, which was like blowing me away. Yeah, dude, we've done so many books now. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
We should.
This too. I forgot to mention this. We're doing a sale on Etsy tomorrow. We just dropped Vix the Hunter number 3 on Etsy, so now you can get the entire series. It's issue 3 is co-illustrated by Larry and Carola Borelli. The entire series has Larry's art in there, and all 3 issues are now out on Etsy. But if you wait till tomorrow, you'll get 17% off in honor of St. Patty's Day.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Can I get comp copies of that?
If you want them, yeah.
I mean, of course. But yeah, Vix the Hunter was super fun to work on. Are you gonna keep doing stuff with Vix?
We will do. I haven't announced this at all yet. So before this, look, for example, Emerald Fantasies was our Space Between annual 2024. Cerulean Dreams was our Space Between annual 2023. We were doing it where we would have multiple stories from our different titles. Starting with 2025, we shifted it to where it's going to focus on a single title every year. We will break from that next year for our 10th year anniversary. We're going to have a mix again. But Vix the Hunter will come back as a Space Between annual 2027.
Is that tied in with the Wild Wisps? Is that same universe?
No, different universe.
Okay, that's the Afterglow universe.
Yeah, Vix the Hunter and Afterglow are in a universe, and Wild Wisps is a brand new thing.
Oh, yeah, I really dig that book. It looks great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, Wild Wisps, we are going to be expanding that universe, so I think that would be a cool place for you to play around with.
Is that like your little Pokemon shits?
Yeah, it's like a creature kind of story.
Yeah. I get that vibe. I'm like, that's pretty cool, man. Are you still playing Pokemon Go?
Bro, yeah. I don't even know what my phone is, but yeah, I'm every day. It's it's open right now.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do my catches every day. Here's a who's here? A Baneri is here. Check him out.
That's fucking crazy.
Caught him. Boom.
Wait, what level are you then?
48.
So like it tops out at 50, doesn't it?
Yes. And they started doing it where it's like before levels 1 to 40, all you need to advance the levels is XP. 41 to 50, there's tasks as well. So what's rough is that I have to obtain 50 lucky Pokemon to get to level 49.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the lucky trades, the odds are insane. And I barely ever trade, you know. So I've been level 48 for 2 years now.
Yeah, no, I topped out in my 20s, level 20 something. Can't do it, man. I gave my account to my kids, and I was like, just you guys have fun with it.
Bro, I was telling you before, they've changed the game to where there's just so much to do that
Yeah,
if me and you went out on the town, right, hit the town, start a new account, you could hit level 25 in a day.
yeah, right. Impossible.
No, I'm telling you. I started again, Casanova, who I mentioned before, who's doing Chicago Exotica with us. She started a new account when I was out visiting her in Texas. And we blazed through that bitch.
All right. Well, maybe next time go play some Pokemon Go.
Let's do it. Would you ever do some cheeky stuff?
Hell yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I did that one thing. That was pretty fun. It was funny. I was working on that, and Lou, my son, came into my office, and he was like, "What?" And I was like,
What the hell is that?
I was like, "Just you can look at it, dude. It's fine. It's just anatomy, or or whatever." And he's like, "I don't think I could look at this." I'm like, "Dude, it's fine. It's like it was the bathing suit version, not the other. There's two versions or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm totally into that for real.
Good. Let me actually give a quick tutorial here before we go. How to throw a curveball in Pokemon Go, right? So there you go. You pretty much, it's hard to do it backwards because I'm right here. You pretty much just kind of like draw. Let's see, what's the shape? Draw a circle, right? Let's see, watch. If I can do it backwards. So I have the ball. Boom, circle. Just draw a circle and let it go.
There you go.
Boom.
Nice.
There he is. That's it for us. Check the link for Ghost Baby. We're gonna be doing more of these streams too. We're gonna be maybe doing one next Tuesday for Devil in America or Give Him Hell, depending on who we can get. But the following Tuesday, last Tuesday of March, we are definitely doing a stream where we're going to be announcing Space Between and Cheeky Quarter 2 of 2025. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. So I do hope that you'll join us here. Larry, always good seeing you, man.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you again in person. We got to set that up.
Oh, yeah. You doing any more cons this year?
I do not know my schedule. I have a few booked later this year. I'll let you know where I'm going to be. We'll hook it up.
If you were to do Florida SuperCon, I might go down.
I haven't done SuperCon in like 10 years at least.
Yeah, it's not a con where the halls are very busy. It's Hop still is con for sure. I just focus Miami, you know.
I don't go because it's Miami. But I haven't been to Miami in so long. It's probably a lot different. But when I used to go to SuperCon, it was a totally different beast. Miami's like a weird place for me. It's like right on that cusp of too far to drive and not far enough to fly to, you know.
How far is it from you?
I think it's like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so like I'd say like 6 hours is like the top for me where I'll drive to. But if you're there, I would go for sure. Like
Good.
I would definitely look into it if we could plan something. But otherwise, I don't really have too much interest in Miami.
I mean, I've not to compare, but I drove to Miami from New York. So maybe I'm just a fucking dog, okay?
Yo, dude, you're just crazy, man.
Yeah.
You drove all the way from New York. Did you have stops on the way? Other shows?
No, I did it in 2 days. So I crashed at a hotel halfway there on night 1, and then night 2 I pulled up because I was going there for Exotica, and Exotica booths cost so much that to ship the shit or fly the shit, you have to bring so much in hopes to sell to even make it worth it. So I just drove down.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, you have your dudes too, though, right?
That con I didn't. That con was just me and Casanova, and she flew from Texas.
Oh, I was like to say, like, if you have like Steve with you or something and you split up the drive, it's not so bad. But
You know, that's what's going to be like for Chicago. For Chicago, we're going to leave here Thursday night next month. Show up on Friday morning, set up C2E2, have maybe Ralph and Steve there for that if Ralph can do it. And then I'm going to skirt down to the other side of Chicago where they're doing Exotica and do the Exotica with Casanova. And just trade back and forth the whole weekend.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Little break from each show.
Yeah. But all right. Ghost Baby live on Kickstarter now. Larry, I'll be seeing you soon, bro.
All right, man. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys.